What is up, everybody? Your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Doc with another live episode. And man, today we are bringing up, we're definitely having a banger. It's such a great honor to have joining me today in the live stream. Former University of Hawaii standout, former NFL Green Bay Packer, New York Jets, and CFL Hamilton Tiger Cat running back, founder of the Drew Leaf Foundation, author, and just an overall great person, man, who's on a mission in this life. And just it's an honor to have him today. My man, Alex Green. What's up, Alex?
What's up, my guy? Pleasure to be on here, man.
Oh, man, thank you for joining us, man. I know you're a busy person. You got a lot of stuff going on, but I really, like I was mentioning earlier when we were backstage, I really like what you're doing, man. I took a look at your website. I fell in love with it. Love the mission. Love the passion. And I think it's just one of those great causes that I think more and more people should be doing in this world, just like you. It's really awesome.
That's the thing, man, is that, and you said it, like the mission. You know what I'm saying? So a guy like me who, like, my whole life has been just like, bro, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. I want to get things done. Man, you talked earlier, like, I want to get things done now. You know, and life don't always work that way. There's a lot of setbacks, and I encountered that in my life early on to where I understood that, okay, everything I do in life, bro, like, it's a process. You know what I'm saying? So I had to come back, and even to this day, I still got to slow myself down and say, you know what, it's a process. Like, I had a frustrating day today, if I'm being honest with you. And I'm talking to a friend like, man, look, just slow down. Everything going to be cool. So I still get in those moments where it's like, okay, it's a real life mission. And it can't be accomplished overnight, you know, and it's a process. And throughout my journey in my life, man, I've been just exposed to a lot of adversity. I've been exposed to a lot of, you know, being just down, depressed, you know, but I also experienced a lot of success and accomplishment. So I understand how this thing called life works. So, and that's what the foundation came from, the Dream and Believe. Man, I grew up a dreamer. Like, that's really what I stand on. Like, I'm a visionary. And so that whole movement, man, like, I stand on that. And so the success you're seeing to this day come from, like, a lot of setbacks, a lot of hard times, man, to be able to recognize, okay, you know what, I have the ability to not only give back, but the ability to stay up. And now at this point in my life, I can give back to the youth, man, give them game and what they experience in their life.
That's what I really love. What you just said there at the last part, the youth. More now than ever. I think the youth needs role models, right? And what I mean by role models, individuals that have their boots on the ground like yourself, who's doing what you're doing, hitting the schools, right? Boots on the ground, man, talking to these kids. Because if you look at it from your generation, my generation, I'm a little older than you, that generation of playing outside, being more active and stuff like that, it's little by little diminishing. These kids are more wanting to stay home inside, play video games, not staying as active, and they're not having that social concept like sports and just being outside and you know, gave us that social activity and that kind of leadership, right, to flourish in life.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I struggle with that with my kids now. You know, I got a 14, 12, and 7, and it's like, just go outside and play. You know, just go experience what life is like outside. But now it's so easy for them to just hop on the phone and they have access to all these different things where it's like, that's more entertaining to actually experiencing. But my son, a few years ago, he would watch YouTube of somebody else playing outside. And it's like, bruh, like, you can go do that same thing. You enjoying watching him more than you actually enjoy going outside to go play. It's a trip, you know, but they have that the privilege of having instant gratification. And so when you go outside and play, to them it's like work. I'd rather just sit inside and watch what outside playing looks like rather than actually experiencing it. And that's the difference between our generations. And so it get hard. I coach down in Houston, and I got some guys, man, who are very talented, but they just don't have the exposure of just falling down, getting up, playing with friends, developing skills, identifying issues. And so when they get out there into the real world, they just want to make it to the league. But it's like, bro, it's a whole process to this thing. Like, you can't just go outside or go on a team and think you're going to be the best player ever. Like, you really got to work for it. And that word itself, man, scare a lot of kids these days because instant gratification is such a high priority on their list.
Adding to your point, give us a little background, right? Let's, and I know it's a long journey, right? Your professional career, college,
Sure.
because when people say, make it to the NFL, I look at this, right? I'm a numbers guy, right? And when I look and I research and I see that there's like 16,000 high school football teams, right? That are trying to make that Division I, Division II scholarship, right? Trying to grind for that. I mean, you only have 131 division schools that have teams, right? 165 Division II. I mean, when you multiply that by numbers, I think it's 45 in college or 50. When you look at that, 720,000 college kids try to make it, right, for only like 7,000 spots, right, 12,000 spots all together in college. How hard was that grind for you, and how much of that you could talk to has influenced you nowadays to be the man that you are today? Throughout,
it was hard. It was hard, man. I was one of those guys that, if I'm being honest, I wasn't like a big school guy. I wanted to just play ball. Like, that's all I wanted to do. And I chose the high school I went to, specifically because of a certain coach that was there, but the school was high in academics. And so I was just talking to a buddy the other day, like, he didn't notice, but I had to apply 6 times to get into my high school. Luckily, I had some leeway because the coach who was there coached me when I was a young pup coaching track, one of the greats, Leon McKenzie. But once I got into the school, man, I was just so excited to play ball that I actually failed my freshman and sophomore year, and I was ineligible my sophomore year. And so once I had to realize, okay, I can't just be good at a sport, like, school comes with it. There's like a different part of the grind. People think, like, kids nowadays think that, okay, if I'm just good at a sport, like, I'll take it to the next level. But it's like, nah, man, like, bro, no school's going to take you if you don't have the grades, and that comes with a lifestyle of being disciplined. I was just disciplined in one area, and so when you talk about the grind and the process, like, bro, it's a lifestyle. It's not just, oh, I'm going to go work out, I'm going to eat right, I'm going to sleep. Like, nah, bro, this is a lifestyle. You can't just be disciplined for a few hours and think you're going to be great in your life. This is a whole lifestyle change and commitment that you have to commit to despite the circumstances. So no matter what's going on around you off the field or on the field, but you got to be disciplined in who you are as a person. I talked to the school called Kelso just yesterday. I talked about having character. Talent would get you in the rooms, but the character is what's going to keep you in the rooms. And you build your character by being disciplined. That's when you build your character up, And so, it motivated me, man, because, like, I went the long route. I was in high school. Obviously, I had bad grades, how I mentioned. And so I had to go to a junior college. I had no offers out of high school because my grades was just too bad. So I went to the junior college, and that probably was one of the realest experiences in my life. First time from home, moms can't take care of me no more. I'm not eating home-cooked meals, and I'm still trying to play the sport that I love. But it was like everything outside of football was distracting to me. I couldn't handle it. I wasn't prepared for it, And so, man, we was in a 2-bedroom with like 6-7 guys. You just lucky if you just get a spot on the floor to crash at. And I was taking a ton of units just to be eligible to go to the next level, to go to university, and we eating a cheeseburger or 2 a day. You know what I mean? So that's the part people don't talk about when you talk about the grind and the process. Like, bro, it's much bigger than the game. Like, it's a lifestyle. You got to be disciplined in the lifestyle, not just the game. And for me, like, that's where I really grew at was when I went to my junior college. And after that, obviously, I went to Hawaii, which was like amazing. I'm on an island, I got my feet in the sand, I'm eating Spam, you know what I'm saying? Like, life is good, and I still hit some adversities. But it's like, it was still a grind, even more so. Now, yes, I had the luxuries of being able to have a roof over my head. I'm not sleeping with 6-7 guys in a room. I had good food to eat. I'm traveling, I'm on TV, like, life is good, but it was still struggles. And I still had to school. I still had to get up every morning, still had to take care of my body, had to take care of my academics. Like, it was a lot going on. And that little piece of my life, bro, was like mind blowing to me, because it was like, I thought when I got there, all my problems was going to be gone. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was good. Like, okay, I made it. I'm the first one in my family to get a scholarship. I'm playing D1. I'm on a video game now. Like, I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking life is like, okay, I'm here. that wasn't the case. It was still a grind, you know. And I think a lot of young kids, man, a lot of young athletes got to realize like each level of success comes with a new level of responsibilities and expectations that you got to still commit to. You know, like the work's not done yet just because you reach a level of success. And so, you know, and obviously going to the league, man, like that was, I mean, you know, I'm Lambo leaping and catching passes and handoffs from A-Rod, one of the GOATs, playing with Charles Woodson and Clay Matthews and, you know what I'm saying, B.J. Raji's, and I'm in the backfield with James Starks. Bro, it was like mind-blowing. You know, literally a dream come true. But even then came with a new level of commitments, responsibilities, and expectations. And so the grind never stopped. It never stopped, you know. So I just really want to get like the message. I want it to be clear that like, bro, just because you make it to a certain level, like that don't mean the work is done yet. You know, and even to this day, being an author, having a foundation, being a head coach, motivational speaker, a father, a son, a brother, like, bro, there's still work to be had no matter where you at. You know, people just want that instant gratification. They think, okay, the work is done, I'll finish. Nah, bro, like we still grinding this thing, you know. So it motivated me, man, and it made me understand like just the concept of like success and what all comes with it. And also like there's no finish line. Like we're really in a marathon. There's no real finish line to this. You know, we just, like I tell my guys now, like, man, I just enjoy the fight. I just like the fight now. I just enjoy the grind. I enjoy the process. That's much more rewarding to me than the actual prize.
Wow. So in other words, right, adversity builds character. Like
absolutely.
Right. Yep. And let me tell you something. It must have built a great, you know, that whole junior college, you know, going to that and then getting to the University of Hawaii, man, because you had some numbers in University of Hawaii, bro. I mean, what is it? 327 yards in one game, 2 touchdowns.
Man, bro, I'm glad you got it right. People say, what, 325, 326? No, it's 327. So I'm glad you got that right. It's 327, man.
You earned every single one of them. Do not ever let nobody shortchange you, my man.
Nobody.
Numbers right there, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you had such a great career at the University of Hawaii, man. I mean, you were a 3rd round pick. That's amazing, right? And like I said, going back to how many players play in high school and college for just 1,600 or a little over 1,600 spots in the NFL. It's what blows my mind on how difficult this journey is and how low the odds are to making it there, man. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's great. Like you said, adversity builds character, and you definitely took that and ran with it, which is it's awesome. It's really
for sure.
Really
you got to embrace it, man. I mean, everybody want to go to the next level, and it's like, man, there's a select few that make it, and it's rarely based off talent. It's rarely based off talent. 9 times out of 10 is based off who really just want it the most. Like who's going to work the hardest? Who's going to put that extra work in at the end of the day? Because scouts, I mean, everybody can play. At a certain level, everybody can play. Everybody's talented. Everybody can run the ball. And if not, I can coach that. But I can't coach effort. You know, I can't coach it when you fumble the ball because you come back and still get have a 100-yard game. That's uncoachable. That's just something that's in you. But again, that adversity, that's what's going to build that character to take you to the next level.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Also, it goes in hand with like, you know, character reflects leadership, right? So the leadership, you know, the character that leadership has is what everybody's going to kind of go ahead and take in and follow, right? So
absolutely.
Now, with that being said, right, let's jump back here to the Drew Leaf Foundation, Dream and Believe. The mission of this, give me the mission again and kind of like the back end and the influence for this, because this is huge. This is really, really big. And I think
it's always, So I've always been in a mentor position, whether I wanted to or not. But I always enjoyed it, you know. Like I mentioned, my story, man. You know, I had the bad grades in high school. I didn't find out until I got to the University of Hawaii that I actually had dyslexia, so I had a learning disability. I wasn't the biggest, wasn't the fastest, wasn't the strongest. And where I'm from, Portland, Oregon, you see the Blazers on the hat. But where I'm from, you know, football is not really big in the United States, and so we don't get looked at. And there's a lot of talented guys here who just get overlooked solely off the fact that we just from Portland. More of a basketball state. Those guys from Texas, Florida, California, those are the guys that look at first. So we always got overlooked. And so as I kind of got older and seeing things from a better lens, I started looking back like, man, I don't want guys to go through the same things that I went through. And if they are going through the same things, how can I help? Like, what part can I play? And that's where the Dream and Believe Foundation came from. So we help kids with mentorship programs, We work with them with camps, football athletic camps and clinics. And we also bridge the gap between high school players and coaches so that they can get looked. So they send us film. We send a film out. I have a lot of connections because I played. And so I send a film directly to the coaches. We work with their grades. If somebody have a learning disability, we get them extra help. We get them audio books. We get them mentors. We get them tutors so that their grades can get up, so they're not struggling. We get them tested. And we're also in the community. We just did a toy drive this past December for Christmas. A toy, and it was just more about like just giving back to the kids who just lack, underprivileged, at-risk kids, man, who just really just need an extra hand, need a big brother, or a big sister, just somebody to say, hey, look, man, I see you going through this, I love you, I'm here for you, I'm gonna help you get through these hard times, so that's where the Dream and Believe Foundation came from, but it's been rooted in my heart. I would say, man, really in high school, like I said, always been in that mentor role, whether I wanted to or not, but I always enjoyed it, man. And now that I'm in position to make it come true, I'm just reaching back, man, and giving back to the youngs, man, so they can have a better advantage than what I had coming up.
So you definitely, you've been a leader inside of you pretty much most of your life.
For sure.
I guess just by pure scenario and just life in general, you've just been placed, through God's grace in those positions, probably, right? Where you have to like step up, and it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Some people just have it in them. Some people develop it over experience. I think mine played a little bit of both. I just had that aura to me, not really knowing it, but also my experiences. Going through the things I went through. I graduated high school with a 1.26 and still made it to University of Hawaii. And so when people started seeing my story and how I overcame it, then it's like, wow, you kind of led by example rather than just rah, 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 And so now I'm more of a rah, rah, rah as a motivator. But at the same time, my experience leads silently because, man, you see me put the work in, but you've seen a lot of struggles. And I'm sitting here today on the podcast with you talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, bro, like it's been a long journey. But when I look back at it, it's like, man, to be able to even just give back some wisdom and knowledge is a blessing in itself. And hopefully somebody could pick something up from it.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's great. And like I said, what you're doing is something that we're missing a lot in this world, right? A lot of adults have run away from the commitment and the model.
Yeah.
Me growing up, I grew up in East New York, right? In Brooklyn, East New York, inner city. And, there was a couple, my dad was a role model, we were immigrants. He worked his ass off. I followed the same suit.
Yeah.
I worked my way up, not through sports, but, college, working full time, going to school full time, the whole grind, have a family I'm able to provide. And and there was always somebody in that neighborhood, right, which was an older guy, right, who just was the guy there that did something, but always kind of passed that down to certain kids, right, when you're playing ball outside, whatever the case may be. And, we don't have those role models anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like when you do this and you take it to the level that you're taking it, using your influence, it's very commendable, man. It's commendable and is so much needed.
Right, for sure. I like what you said, man, because like when we came up, like there was some guys who we would look at as like, man, I want to be like him. That was doing something positive. There was some guys doing things negative too. That was like, man, I want to be like him too. Of course, you know what I'm saying? We all do it, but there was also some guys who were doing something that was super dope and positive. Like, man, I want to be that one day. I feel like nowadays, man, it's so hard for these kids because when they're not interested, and they're just not enough of guys who's doing that dope thing that's positive that they want to mimic, And so I just came back to Portland from Houston in January, man. I got a phone call that there was a 15-year-old that got shot and killed in front of the school. And I'm like, there was shootings and whatnot going on when I was coming up, but it's like, bro, like y'all really out here killing your own because there's just no more mentors. We say OGs. There's no real OGs that's giving real life game. You know what I mean? Like I never met a successful drug dealer who lasted 20, 25, 30 years. Without even getting busted, killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never really met one, to be honest. Maybe he's ducked off somewhere. I don't know. And that's why I don't know. But I never met somebody who was doing the wrong thing their whole life and was successful at it. And can live to be 80, 90 to tell a story. I haven't met one, So I just try to be on just the other end of the fence, man, and try to give back like some real game, some real life stuff that I've been through. Like I've been in the streets at one point in my life. I tried to live that lifestyle. It's just not what I wanted to do. But I thought I did, but I really didn't. But man, it's like, look, I understand the mindset and why you might feel that way, but let me give you some real life game on what it's like if you do go that way. And I'm gonna give you some real game on how you can go this way and monetize your situation, bro, and you can be successful and set yourself up for success. Once you get older, you look back and thank me and thank yourself, you know.
Absolutely. Look, we actually got some Packer fans in the watching.
Hey,
those are my boys from Patriot Sports Radio. Huge. They're from Wisconsin. Huge Packers fans, man. They're dying. They're right there. They're ride and die with the Packers. They
go Pack, man. I can't believe how this season went.
I know.
I'm pissed. I know everybody pissed.
Yeah.
I'm only a Packers fan because they gave me an opportunity, but I'm gonna ride with them because they rolled with me and took a chance. But damn, this season was terrible, man.
I know. We'll definitely hit a little bit of that towards the end. Tell me about now the this is your first book, right? AJ wants to play football, right?
Yeah, man.
Book. What inspired you to do this? I know it probably has to do a lot with what your whole mission is, but writing a book, that's big, man. That's tough, and I know that's something probably out of your realm, right? Something that you have to probably adjust and roll with it. But what was the inspiration and the whole purpose of this?
Bro, I always wanted to write a book, but like on my life, you know what I mean? As I got older, like, man, my life, bro, I need to write a book, or somebody to tell me to write a book. But this particular book, man, came from, again, like, let me take myself out of it and let me tell the kids a story as they're coming up, but it's still about me, right? Like, this is a true story based on my life and how I came up, right? And the inspiration came from, honestly, I got a cousin out in Dallas, my first cousin in Dallas. Mm-hmm. He called me up one day, man. He was like, bro, I got it. He said, dream and believe. AJ wants to play football. He had a different name, but we came up with AJ. But I'm like, bro, let's do it. And he said, man, just write your story. And so I started turning my wheels, and it was one of those nights I was talking about where I'm like, I got to get done right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm up 72 hours straight, just writing down my story, man, and getting it all dialed up to where it's not too long. It's an easy read for the youth, but it came from really, bro, like just getting that story out. Like I'm big on like getting the message out, my story out. Hopefully it can impact somebody else. But it was one of those things, man, like one of those personal accomplishments that I still look at it and get excited because I got my parents in there. That's mom and my pops right there. True story. And it's me. And it's not even like, it's not one of those stories that's like, okay, rah, rah, rah. It's like, look, he went through some struggles. He overcame them. He has support, right? And he believed in himself from his dream. And that's exactly what I believe in. I believe if you got a dream, man, like believe in it and stick to it and have the right people around you, as I had, that's going to support that vision. And I mean, you can accomplish things unmanageable, and I want to put that in these young kids' head because how we talked about before, they're on the video games, they're seeing instant gratification, but it's like, no, I was once a kid that went home crying because somebody told me I couldn't, and I didn't believe myself until somebody else believed in me first. So I want to get that message out to the youth, man, and really spark a flame under them to like, hey, look, like even though I made it to this level of success and played for the Packers and Jets and Hamilton, but at one point I was a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kid as well that was going through struggles that can relate to their struggles.
I'm actually going to buy this book for my son. I got a 5-year-old son, man. He's not interested in it, but the only sport he's interested in is karate, which at least I got him.
Okay. He's dangerous.
Again, the same thing. It's like, he wants to have a daughter who's 9 and who's going to be 10 and he's 5. So he's still young, right? And I grew up playing basketball up in New York because, like I said, it's not a big football town. Plus, I'm not made from football grade. I love the game, love to watch it, but dude, I will fail miserably at it. But
your 5-year-old will not get bullied.
Yeah, exactly. I try to encourage him to play baseball and stuff like that. He's not into it. Got him in karate, but I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy this book, and this is going to be one of his nighttime books, man. So I could see if I could spark a fire in him to.
You never know. It might spark that fire. It just might.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah, man.
You mentioned support, right? And as I was reading, in your website, you mentioned support. You grew up in a with 6 brothers, 2-parent household.
Yep.
You also mentioned how faith was able to help you through adversity when the loss of your friend during in the University of Hawaii. How was that a huge factor in your life, an influence to help you? Your parents, the structure, home, what you grew up with. Those ethics and also faith played in your life to get, into your life's journey from all the adversity and where you're at today. And I guess moving forward.
It was huge, man. Growing up, it was just wah, 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 wah. It was just the same, you know what I mean? A broken record coming up, like, I got it, I got it. And I would go make a mistake. And it's like, oh, told you. Okay, I got it. Make a mistake. Oh, told you. And I would keep repeating that until eventually one day it was like, man, mom is right. Let me start listening a little bit. And the little things, I mean, even just going to church on Sundays, the certain music I listen to, the guys I had around me, the knowledge that she gave me, that Pops gave me, like his calmness, his integrity, like those things didn't play a part in my life early on because I was so egotistical and I thought I had it all figured out, which I didn't. But as I got older, I started to apply those principles that I learned to my everyday life once I left home. And so I was able to adapt, like once I went to junior college and was sleeping in a 2-bedroom with 6-7 guys. I was able to adapt to it because I still had the principles. And mom just always said, like, keep an eye on the prize, stay in it, And Pops told me when I first left school, he said, "Hey man, it's gonna be long nights where you eating a cup of noodles and you're gonna be sleeping doing homework, and you gotta wake your buddy up. Like, hey man, let's go." So he already kind of gave that in me to where I was prepared once I left, and I still use those principles to this day, man. And especially now, having like the faith and growing up in the church, and mom's played the piano in the choir, so I was forced to be in the choir, and I used to cry when I sing a solo because I was embarrassed, you know what I'm saying? But like those principles, man, and that structure, and growing up believing in like there's a higher power and there's somebody that's covering me and I'm protected, man, like that played a huge role in just like my anxieties as I move forward through life, as I changed locations, as I was away from family. And I always knew like, man, there was somebody else that was with me, even though I felt alone. And so it played a huge part, man, and it molded me into the man I am today. I still use those principles today. I still sit on those values, man, and I still try to have the same integrity that I used when I was coming up.
That's awesome. And it's funny, I'll guarantee you right now, as you're a parent, you're applying those same principles to your kids. And how many times you say to yourself, God, I'm turning into my old man. Or my
Come
mom.
on, man. All the time. All the time. I talk to my brothers about it sometimes, like, and like, dang, bro, you sound like Pop. Like, he was right. We hate to admit it. We hate to admit it, but it's real. It's real. And the hardest part about being a parent is when you see your kids doing the same things or making the same mistakes that you made when you were younger. That's the toughest thing. And it's like, look, I already been here. I already did it. I know when you lying because I made that same face when I lied. You know what I mean? And it just get like, you got to just learn. You got to just go through yourself and learn how we did. At the same time, man, it's the best feeling in the world to be able to be in that position, to guide them.
That's great, man. That's awesome. I mean, I feel the same way. I got some of the guys asking where they can get the book. I'll let you go ahead and kind of give all the details before we move on to the next segment. But I'm also going to go ahead and I'll get the link to your website, right? That's where we could go in and they can find the book on Amazon. Go ahead and tell them real quick, and then we'll say it again at the end of the show.
Okay. Yep. So the book, solely the book is on dreamandbelievebooks.com.
Okay.
Dreamandbelievebooks.com. It's also on the website, alexgreen15.com. If you scroll down to the merch, and the book is also there as well. But dreamandbelievebooks.com is where you can purchase the book.
Perfect. What I'm going to do is I just copy the link. I just saw it. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the comments.
Yes, sir.
All right. And I'm also going to go ahead and I'll put your website, but it takes you directly to buy the book. I've just placed that link in the comment to anybody that's watching. Hey, check it out. I'm definitely going to buy the book as well. And we'll go ahead and when I do my when I post this on the other platforms, to watch, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the link in the description, so we go ahead and get you some.
That's love. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's love.
Great. Listen, man, I looked at this and it's such a great. I love it. I'm like you. I'm old school, right? I'm very. I grew up with two sets of parents, struggled all my life, and I worked my way up in life, man. And I could relate. Wasn't an athlete, but I could relate the way that you carry yourself and what you're trying to prove for these kids, which again, it's needed so much nowadays, man, than any other time because of just where we are, right? That the technology is just taking over the kid's life. And somebody like you, let me tell you something, with everything you just told me and what I've been able to research about you. Remember we talk about the OGs in the neighborhood, the one that was spreading positivity?
Yep.
Cats, man, that you are influencing in these school motivational talks, which you do a lot of them, that they're gonna, they're gonna show love. They're gonna come back to you and be like, "Thank you, man. You know what? I was heading this path. You changed my life. You're gonna get brother."
Bro, there was. So I just talked yesterday. Mind you, there's been quite a few who reached out to me via Instagram or talked to me personally after I got done talking. But this one specifically yesterday, and I get the chills talking about it because it was so impactful, man. But she came up to me after the talk. She waited in line, right? Because I was signing autographs for the kids and backpacks and whatnot and taking pictures. And she was one of the last ones. She came up to me and she gave me this hug and she said, "Thank you for your speech. It helped me from the things that I was going through. I plan to commit suicide after school today."
Wow.
She said, "You changed my perspective, and now I believe in myself that I can accomplish these things that I didn't think was possible." Bro, I was like this close to breaking tears. I just gave her a hug and said, "I love you." But that's why I do it. You know what I mean? That's why I do it, man, because I've been in dark times when I was younger and didn't have nobody that came to our school and talked to us who looked like me, sound like me, or been through some things, or had a platform that can also say, "Okay, yeah, I got all these accolades, but I'm just like you, and I go through struggles too, but here's how I get through it." And so, but that's why I do it, man. That's why I want to be one of those OGs we talk about that's like, look, you know, I understand what you're thinking. I understand the pressures you're up against, but there's a better way, and I'm gonna show you how to get there.
That's unbelievable, man. You know, that's great. That's a great mission, man. I mean, that's unbelievable, and there should be more and more people like you, man, and every level, whether professional athletes or anybody that has been able to get ahead in life. You know, because I think it's important for the community, any community in the United States and in the world for that matter, to have mentors that came out where they came from. And vice versa to show them the ropes, man. You know what I mean? That's just unbelievable.
Sure.
I commend you 1,000%, man. That's keep doing the good.
I appreciate that. And like I said before, man, like there's people out there that's mentors not even knowing it yet. Like there's I told my boy the other day, I said, like, bro, like people watching you whether you know it or not. They're watching your movements. They're watching how you interact. They're watching if you're gonna shake the CEO and the janitor's hand, you know, with the same energy. Like they're watching us. Whether we know or not, just how we watched them when we was coming up, whether they knew it or not. So I feel like everybody has that leadership ability and that role and that mentor aspect to them, whether they like it or want it or not. You know, it's all in us. Because I mean, these kids looking at us to see how what does it look like to live life once I get older.
Unreal, perfect, man. That's great. Now you want to do some football talk? Talk a little bit of Super Bowl action.
Let's do it, man. Let's get nitty and gritty. I'm with it.
Yeah, there we go. Let's switch some gears here, my man. And first and foremost, before the Eagles and the Chiefs, I think it's going to be a great game. Who were your two picks? Because everybody picks their teams at the beginning of the year, right?
Of course I had Green Bay, and I wasn't even trying to be funny. But when I first seen Watson drop that pass on the first game, I know how that team is and the resiliency. So I thought, that's gonna be one of those stories where not only the team gonna be great, but he's gonna have a breakout season, which he ended up having a breakout season anyway. You know, it usually always kind of happened like that, but everybody was against him and blah, blah, blah. So that's gonna be one of those teams that's gonna come back when nobody believed in them. It didn't happen, but I had Green Bay and I had the Chiefs. I did have Chiefs.
You got one team there, so you got the Chiefs.
But I'm biased. I love Pat Mahomes.
Oh, me too.
I love Pat Mahomes, man. Like he's that leader we talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like, he's a raw because he's a quarterback, but he makes plays in big time situations.
The guy he's built different, right? What he did last week in a high ankle sprain, and you saw him. There's no other quarterback that could do that because of his his ability, but also that he's it, right? To me, he's the best quarterback. Brady retired today, out of. Which I'm not surprised, but just time. He's the greatest of all time in my book, right? But this kid right here, if he plays maybe 4 or 5 years before, less than Brady, he's going to break all the records. I don't think he's going to play that long, but right now, to me, he's the new GOAT. Brady's gone. Everybody has to look up to Mahomes in my book. You know what I mean? So everybody.
He's at that point. He's at that point in his career that he's so good that a 250-yard game with 3 touchdowns is like, he didn't do nothing this game. Like LeBron. LeBron get 40 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and I'm like, he did okay. Because you're just at that level where now we're expecting 350-yard, 5 touchdown games. Like he's almost still underrated to me for some reason. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like he's still underrated. I don't know what it is. I mean, I honestly think because he's so humble and he always gives his team praise first. And to me, bro, that's a good sign of a leader.
You know, what's nuts is that everybody doubted him this year because the fact that Tyreek Hill left. So we're saying, he lost a big piece.
Right, he lost a deep threat. Right.
He's the guy. Look what he did in Miami, right? With a quarterback that to me is
about
100 times, no disrespect to Tua, a lot less inferior than Mahomes.
Than Mahomes, for sure. Yeah,
exactly.
It's called what it is. Yep.
What he lost, but what he did with the squad that he had this year, the fact that, and no disrespect, but I always say this year, I've been saying that it's Patrick Mahomes, and then you got, Travis Kelce, and then the rest of the wide receivers, Juju and everybody else, they're not number ones, for this team. So
yeah, just being honest.
He worked hard. I mean, he put these guys, and that's what a great quarterback does. Put them in positions to be really, really good. And
there you go. Yep.
Can't expect
and like you said, I mean, and he's playing with a high ankle sprain. I mean, that he just got hurt the week before. So it's not like he had weeks to heal. Like he's still hurting, and I mean, you see him out there limping, and he's still making all the throws. He's not complaining. He's not cussing his teammates out. He's not tapping out to the coach. And that's a true leader. That's what you want in your quarterback. And I'm gonna be honest, I love Aaron Rodgers to death, but I do not like his leadership ability.
Yep.
Great quarterback off the field. He's dope. It's all good. I play with him, but his on the field leadership, that's what turned me away to him. Because if I go the wrong, I'm a rookie coming in. If I go the wrong way on the play, and it's like I'm getting a side eye, and it's like, bro, just talk. I'm a grown man, I'm on your team. Talk to me and let me know what's going on. Don't just give me a side eye and then just, keep on going. Now I feel bad, and I don't know what to correct. So when I see a quarterback like Mahomes, man, his leadership skills, man, he give his team the praise first, never point the finger. Yeah, he get upset because he's passionate, but he never points the finger when things go bad. And when things go good, he always put it on his team.
That's true.
You can't knock that.
That's true. That's been his knock in his whole career. I don't know what it is with the Green Bay quarterbacks because before him, the other guy had a little bit of attitude, and Brett Favre, as good as he was. It must be like a Green Bay trade when it comes to quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Apply for the job. Actually, the audience are agreeing with you. The guys from Wisconsin, Patriot Sports Radio, my boy Chris and Eric, I can't argue with that. They can argue with your point about Rodgers, which is, it's no secret. And, he's not going to change. But the guys,
he's not. And when I came in, it's like, look, I came in 2011 off the Super Bowl hangover. So I understand my position when I'm coming in. I'm fresh out of Hawaii. You fresh off a Super Bowl, you MVP. Like, let me play my role and try to fit in where I can. This is your team. At the same time, I'm not trying to be in the locker room walking on eggshells with other grown men.
I got you. No, hey, it is.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be on eggshells. Like, I do that at home. You know what I'm saying? With the wife or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be on eggshells at work with other grown men. When we can just communicate, I'm around you all day, and I got to worry about making you mad. The coaches is worrying about making you mad. Like it was just a different dynamic, but at the same time, I have to understand, look, this is a Super Bowl MVP quarterback. Do as you told, fall in line. Obviously, he's been there. I haven't, so he must have the formula how to win games. But a lot of players that come in, especially the new age that come in, but they can't adapt to that. They don't come from that. They come in, look, I'm the man too. I'm coming in, and if you don't like it, then you just don't like it. I'm not going to adapt to it. You just don't like it. And that's what happened, I think, with Devontae. And that's why McCarthy and him didn't get along. And, it's a lot of, you got to put the right players around a guy like that. And that's hard to do.
It's especially nowadays, like you said. It's really difficult nowadays.
It's hard.
Who do you have winning? Who's your Super Bowl pick to win it? Eagles or KC? And why?
I want to see KC win just because my love for Pat. I like Kelce. I like their whole demeanor as an organization. No nonsense. They come in to win. They leave. But I don't know, man. I want to see Jalen Hurts. You know what? I'm going for Kansas City, but I want to see a good ass game. You know what I mean? I want to see I want to see an overtime game or something. I wouldn't be upset though if Philly won.
See, absolutely. Because I'm a Giants fan, I can by nature root for the Eagles.
You can't go for the Eagles.
But I do love on paper, if we're realistically speaking, the injuries with KC and then the talent around Mahomes, Philly does have the better team on paper, right? I mean,
For
AJ,
sure.
Devontae Smith. People forget about Devontae Smith, right? This guy was great in Alabama. I mean,
Yeah.
a great tight end. You have Miles Sanders. I mean, he broke over 1,000 yards this year, and they have
Yeah.
1,300
Yes.
on-purpose yards. I mean, they have a good defense, a good front four. They got great secondary. They have a really good team on paper that could make things very difficult for KC.
Yep.
It's hard as a new coach.
And with Philly too, they had such a great season
Yes.
that it's like, bro, y'all earned it.
Mhm.
Like, just go finish it off. You know what I mean? Like y'all had a hell of a season. Like, you got the whole town, you got the whole city of Philly behind you. Probably the whole East Coast besides Giants fans.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe
But you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't came so far and just had a hell of a season. Like, man, go finish it off. Like, y'all honestly, like, y'all really earned it. Out of the 32 teams in the league, man, like, y'all the ones that earned it. So go finish it off, man, and go get what's yours.
Yeah, and I'm really happy for Jalen. It's another guy that showed a huge improvement year over year, and the team did right by him and adding the pieces that it needed to be successful. And it's what I tell people: hey, you have to build the program and the system that works best around the skill set of your quarterback, which is the
Absolutely
in the world when it comes to the NFL, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if there's somebody that could beat him. Like you said, it's definitely Patrick Mahomes, who's to me, the man is great. And he's the next up. He's the new GOAT, dude, right now. Brady's gone. So
he's the baby GOAT right now.
That's right, man. I mean, what he's done in his first 5 seasons, man, it's hard to argue how good this guy is. So
absolutely. But you look at a guy like Jalen Hurts too.
Yeah.
What I appreciate about him is all the adversities that he went through.
Yes, absolutely.
From Alabama, sitting out. Then he came into Philly, he sat down, came back, got benched, and now he got a chance to win the whole thing. So, I just love that underdog story. I'm huge on the underdog story. I love it. That's why I like Pat Mahomes when he came out with the boat tape on his ankle. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? So I love seeing people that bring that dog out when they're against the odds. It just do something to my soul. So I love it, man. I love both them quarterbacks. I'm glad they both got a chance to showcase their talent in front of the world. It's gonna be a dope game to see, man.
I think so too. I think it's gonna be a great game. Give me
and the Kelce brothers playing together.
Oh, that's right, the Kelce Bowl, pretty much.
Yeah, that's dope too. First time in history in a Super Bowl, so that's dope too.
That is great.
One of historic moments.
That is absolutely true. That's right. It's the Kelce Bowl, baby. That's the sub brand, right, to the big game, pretty much.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win MVP out of the? Who's going to be a Super Bowl MVP? Give me a pick for each team, because I guess the winner can be for the losing team, but just give me 2.
Yeah. If Philly win, it's gonna be Jalen.
Okay.
It's gonna be Pat. If KC win, because the team relies on those guys to play good ball.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, the other guys don't have good ball. If those guys don't play good ball.
Absolutely.
Who have the least most amount of turnovers, make the most plays, put their guys in positions to make plays, will win. I think, it's going to be a quarterback battle.
Absolutely. It's going to be, I think both guys are going to definitely deliver magic in their own way, because they're both special. They're both really special quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
League is great, man. As the OGs are leaving, man, I know we're in great hands with the amount of young quarterbacks that we have for at least for the next 10 to 12 years. The list is long, and we have a lot of competition, which is great for the NFL. It's what we look forward to.
For sure. And I don't know if A-Rod stay.
Yeah.
But if he stays, they will bring some weapons in. He's not going to stay with the team he had this past year. They're going to bring some guys in free agency. They're going to make some moves. They have to, because he only got a couple more years on his belt if he's not done entirely. I don't think he'll retire now, because Birdie already pulled that card, again. But and I also, to be honest with you, man, I think he might go to Frisco.
Okay.
He might go back home.
Yeah. I mean,
he might go back home.
That team is built to win right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that team, those people are going to come back next year. They got cap money enough to sign them. Jimmy's gone. Money's gone away.
Jimmy gone. Yo.
Exactly. So you're going to have some other guys. They're going to re-sign some guys with a nod. Debo is under long-term contract. Kittle. I'm guarantee you that if they have to do something with McCaffrey, he's probably going to be like, I'll restructure. You know,
Absolutely. You know, let parties sit for a year or two and learn from the GOAT.
Exactly.
You know,
let them get healthy. Let them get
exactly. It just makes sense. You know, and I was seeing Garoppolo to Green Bay. That's a good fit too.
That's a really good fit too, as well.
Yeah. So who knows, man? We'll see.
I can't wait to March right before the draft when they start like, you know, signing guys and talking to teams and that stuff. That's gonna draft this year is gonna be insane because there's so many open quarterback positions and there's some guys where you gotta, you know, the draft is not gonna suffice every single starting gap right now. But there's gonna be some guys moving for sure. Carr, like you said, Garoppolo. You're gonna have probably Aaron Rodgers, like you said. Now that Brady retired, that created another void, right? So there's gonna be some stuff happening for sure.
Yeah, man. It's going to be fun to watch, man. And again, it's just a new transition in the game. You know, just more moving parts, the game changing, becoming more of a quarterback league again, and, you know, get the athletes the ball. I love it, man. I love it.
Excellent. Listen, we've been on for 45 minutes. I told you 25 to 20, but, man, the conversation is so fun.
That went quick.
I'm sorry that I kept you too long. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's all good. It felt like 10 minutes. I could talk all day.
Oh, man, look at me, man. I could talk to hear myself talk sometimes. It was my best gift in life. Tell us a little bit where they could find you. Shout out your socials. I'm going to go ahead and put your links anyway on the description for the show, and I'm also going to tweet it out to my followers. But let us know where they could find you, you know, social medias, where they could buy your book, where to go to your website, and anything you have working on right now.
Yeah, for sure. So we got Twitter, _green20. We got Instagram, _green15_. If you're on Facebook, we're on Facebook, Alex Green Senior. Website, we got alexgreen15.com, dreamandbelievebooks.com. And for the foundation, if you want to donate, we got dreamandbelievefoundation.com.
Perfect. Definitely, I will share these links so everybody can go and check your stuff out, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you for coming on, man. Keep fighting the good fight. You're a commendable young man, brother, and we need about 10 million infinity more.
Hey, it's coming. Hey, let me say real quick, man. Let me give you your flowers, man, because I do quite a few podcasts and I talk to people, but this is probably one of the dopest ones, and that's all credit to you and how genuine you are, and you made it a real conversation. So you're good at what you do, man. I love it.
Thanks,
you stand on, bro. Yeah, man.
Now you're making me blush, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. That means a lot coming from you. I appreciate the positive feedback and the compliments, man.
All love, man. Anytime.
All right, brother. Well, stay safe. Have a good night, and God bless, my man.
All right, man. Bless up.
Take care.
All right.
Man, what a great time having Alex here on the program. I mean, check his stuff out, please. I'm going to go ahead and put all the links in the bio I'm going to go ahead and click it out in the descriptions. I went ahead and put the link down in the comments. Go check out his website, man. Tree Believe, dreamandbelieve.com. Great dude. I mean, it's funny because we have athletes, right, who have all this money in the world and who are like, having schools named to themselves and anything like that. But that's it. It's just the name of a player that's going on and a building, right? They don't have an individual like this who's boots on the ground, walking the streets, man, walking the schools, going in there, sharing a story, influencing the youth, which is needed very, very much. This makes more difference, man, than all the money in the world that you could donate to anybody, because you could donate the money, but if you're not doing something to make a difference like he is, which is, his heart is he's out there, putting in the work, man, doing what he's supposed to be doing, influencing these kids, guiding these kids by, speaking to them. And he's you could go to his website. He does a lot of these motivational speakers. He gets booked on everything, like weekly basis. He's traveling all the time. That is a great cause. We need more and more people like this. And let me tell you something, like I said earlier, man, there's a lot of kids that are definitely going to enjoy that are going to look up to this young man, and they're going to be like appreciating him and thanking him in the future. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I appreciate it very much for watching, actually, because the live show, you're going to find this in all my platforms. Again, your boy E-Man. I want to thank Alex again, Alex Green, for joining the podcast. And your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk podcast. Once again, signing out, and we will see you next time. Peace.